What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. And we have a dream target. And I'll call it a dream target because he's my dream target, especially considering what we have been linked with all this summer. And it's Wilfried Singo from Monaco, ex Torino. And I will explain why he's my dream target. Then we have an update on Dovbyk. And I have a controversial take on Dovbyk. And I will know for certain it will spark an outburst in the comment section, but that's good. We have an update on McKennie to Roma, so a lot of Roma news, and a new defender linked from PSG during the Colomani talk. So before we get into it, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, but especially hit the like button because it does wonders to this channel. So do that right now, and let's talk about my dream target. Okay, so Wilfried Singo linked by Corriere dello Sport, saying that he could become a target depending on certain dynamics in the coming days. Now, I called it a dream signing for three reasons. One, it will be a dream for Monaco to sell this late in the window. Two, compared to what we've been linked with all this summer, he is a dream signing. And three, I like defenders who can defend, and he can defend. You know, is he left-footed? No. Is he a magician on the ball? No. And I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, why are you then, so obsessed with him?" Well, because he knows the Serie A, and he's just a goddamn good defender. I just like him. Is he 25? Maybe he's 25, 24, 25, 23, whatever. He's still young. He still hasn't reached his peak. I think he comes in, he improves that backline from the get-go, and he has enormous potential to grow. And this isn't it. He went from Torino, and he was good at Torino, and I was frustrated at the time why we didn't sign him because he was so cheap. I don't know what Monaco are going to ask if you go for him, especially this late in the window. Monaco do not need to sell. They just signed Pogba, Ansu Fati. They're trying to build something. You can say whatever they're trying to build. Sounds odd, but they're trying to build something. But man, he would improve this team from day one. 110%. He's going to improve us. And the thing is, if he develops as he should be developed and improve as he should be improved, and alongside Bremer, I'm suggesting he will, his value will go up. He has upside. He has salon value. He has margins to grow still. He hasn't reached his peak, and he's not in his prime of his career. This is a signing that will make so much sense, bar the thing that he's not left-footed and he's not a magician on the ball. But he's a goddamn good defender. He's just good. He's good. And these players are the ones we talked about so many times where like you need to sign them when they're in the league. Hoyomond, all these guys, you need to sign them when they're playing for Lecce, when they're playing for Torino. That's when you need to sign these guys. And Singo is one of those guys. Now, dream, let's see. For me, it's a dream. Probably it will remain a dream, especially this summer, this summer. But let's move on. Let's move on because there's other news. Dovbyk, and this will spark controversy in the comments. Dovbyk. So according to Il Messaggero, Roma has proposed Dovbyk to Juve and Milan. They're seeking a fee around 30 million euros, but we said no, and Milan said no. I called it an option in the title. I'll explain that in a second. I like Dovbyk. I liked him at Girona. I liked him at Roma still. I know a lot of fans are not a fan of Dovbyk, probably Roma fans included. I like the player because I think he's a very good finisher. Did it work out completely at Roma? No. But he's a good finisher, and I don't think you can unlearn that. Like, he's just a good finisher, in my opinion. And is a player that I would not have an issue if he played for this club. However, I called it option because a couple of days ago I said we have no other option. It's Colomani or bust or keeping Vlahovic, whatever. Now, if you lose Vlahovic and you don't get Colomani, you have the option. 30 million? No, because Roma want to move them out. You're not going to pay him 30 million euros. I don't know how desperate Roma are to move Dovbyk out. I'm assuming not that desperate, only because they signed him just how many months ago? But he's a player that I do like, and I think he will improve the team. Is he the first choice? No. but he's a player I think will always like throughout his career. Maybe not, to an extent where like he's world class, he's did. No, but I think he's a player who will do a job if you bring him in, and he will score the goals if you provide him with enough opportunities to score a goal. Is he a great, technician and all those things? No, but he's a finisher. He has a good shot on him, and I think he's just lethal in the box, And yes, it's not worked out completely at Roma, but if the price is good and you have no other option, you lose out on Colomani, well, there is an option out there, in my opinion, that you should, keep your eyes on, in my opinion. That's how I'm looking at it. So keep that in the back of your mind. Other Roma news is McKennie, because his contract situation is completely up in the air. Is he going to stay? Are we going to offer him a new deal? He's out of contract next season, and there's no talks that the contract is kicking on at any given time. I'm assuming he's going to sign a new deal. Otherwise, there will be much more news of him being moved down by Comori this summer. But the news is saying that Roma might be keen on him because they see he's out of contract, so the transfer fee will probably be low. That's why I don't think he's going to be moved on. I think he will sign a new deal, and if we move him on, it will be next season, in my opinion. That's how I'm looking at it in this instant, rather than, okay, we are trying to move him out in the next couple of days in the window. I don't see that happening. I will actually be stunned if we move out McKennie during the last couple of days in this window. And then to wrap it up, another link for a defender, and it's Beraldo from PSG. He's also being discussed, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, when we were talks with Colomani, and he could leave PSG on loan at the end of August, because I think they just signed him in January. Is he going to improve us? No. I don't think he's ready, to take us to the next level. And again, if it's a loan, what's the point? We're going to improve a player from another team. We did that with Colomani, but that was January, and we had some issues, and we needed to do something, so we brought in Colomani. This is a season, August. You shouldn't be bringing in a player on loan with the idea of we're going to improve you, maybe, and then he's going back to PSG, and we need to do this cycle all over again. We did that in January. It's January, and even then, if you remember the streams, I was like, why are there no options in these deals? Like, what are these type of deals? And you can see now, Vega's gone, Colomani's difficult to be signed because there were no options. You had nothing in your hand to get those deals done. And I thought at the time, I was like, that's bad business from Giuntoli. If you do that in the summer, it's even worse business, in my opinion, Anyways, that's the rundown. I don't want to talk about Miretti right now and all these players, because I think that's very clear. It's very obvious, and I will do that in a different show because all those things are just extremely obvious. These things are kind of new and interesting, and we should be keeping an eye on, in my opinion, rather than the news that is obvious and it's out there, and we will discuss in a live show or so. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you think about Singo, Dovbyk, and what do you think about the McKennie situation as well? Do you think he's going to stay or leave this summer? Like the video, and I will speak to you guys later tonight, probably. Ciao.